This is Checkpoint XP, esports and gaming radio. CheckpointXP.com.
Mark Cooper, also known as Player One, joins us here in just a moment on Checkpoint XP. Welcome back. I want to thank everyone listening on the Hawk 1340 in Wenatchee, Washington, as well as the Fan 97.1 in Columbus, Ohio. Check out our website over at checkpointxp.com, and while you're there, make sure you sign up for the Checkpoint XP Nation newsletter. Get behind-the-scenes insight, photos, and access to contests and unique content. All it takes is an email address and a zip code. So sign up today at checkpointxp.com. Joining us now in the studio is Mark Cooper. He's a rapper and performing artist. He was the winner out at Mag West Cypher. Mark, welcome to Checkpoint XP.
Pleasure, man. Really great to be here. Thank you.
We appreciate some of your time. So obviously a lot of your inspiration comes from, like geek and nerd culture. What do you consider to be things that influence your music the most?
Well, to be honest, nostalgia will probably be the best way of going about it. Like, I'm definitely the 80s kid, like from the T-1000s to the John Rambo. Then I'll come out of nowhere with Julia White and Gargoyles, and then I'll venture off into from DuckTales to Reboot to VR Troopers. I'm all over the place, man.
I love that I just heard the words Reboot and VR Troopers on our show.
And Gargoyles?
Yeah,
Come on.
Gargoyles amazing.
It's amazing. So do you embrace the label of nerdcore? Is that like the genre that you consider yourself?
Yes, I do.
Because there's some artists that kind of operate in this lane that kind of don't want to be lumped in with nerdcore for some reason, and I don't get it, because as far as I'm concerned, if you're making nerdy references in your music, you are a part of nerdcore.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you perform at a lot of conventions. What is it about the convention atmosphere that you enjoy performing for?
Well, the reason why I like the convention is that it's the most masses of individuals that's like-minded with me. When I performed YumaCon for the first time, it was an overwhelming experience, because nerds would be like, hey, I've heard nerdcore before, but I haven't heard artists I really like yet. And, also not even trying to bring in the stereotype, you don't really see a lot of African-American artists that are proud of their nerddom.
Yeah.
So for me, being able to be a stable for it, and we're in Detroit.
Yeah.
So, me saying like, hey, you see that new Magneto comic? They look at you like, no.
No, I think that's a really interesting thing, man, because I experienced some of the same things, especially in my late teens, early 20s and stuff, where, you make these weird, obscure references that aren't obscure to you or your little social group,
right,
but are obscure to everybody else. And I definitely think, I can only think of a handful of artists, yourself, Mega Ran, even like I'll put Lupe in there.
Yep.
Like, there's really a handful of guys who can do that kind of stuff and make it palatable and make it enjoyable. But I want to talk about Mag West right quick.
Yeah, sure.
That was dope.
Thank
I watched the video.
Awesome.
I was very heartened and emboldened by your talent, especially coming from the D as a native myself.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Gotta do what you gotta do. What was that experience like at Mag West?
Well, Mag West, first time there. That's just like kind of like the big kahuna of shows I've ever done. And overall, it's like the first time I actually been in an area where there was musicians that were nerdy, and we were all in the same collective. Everybody was, open arms. Everybody sharing what they need to do. People came out to support. And it was just overall amazing experience. Got a chance to perform with it. And even got a chance to do the cypher portion of it that I was, surprised to get into. And it was, really hyped to do.
And you ended up winning.
Yeah.
That's dude, that's was that your first like MagFest or anything with Mag?
Yes.
Because
Wow.
I really love that concert series. Like I've said it for years. It's grassroots, the clashing of like convention culture and these big festivals that we see. It's kind of like somewhere right in the middle, but yeah, you can kind of tell that it's born from nerds, right? Like it's not some like corporate like thought out thing. So
exactly.
I've thought so highly of what Music and Gaming Fest does every year.
Well, I mean, and it seems like kind of what, Mark, you were talking about. you don't have to go there and first convince everyone that it's worth talking about, and worth performing about. Everyone's there to see it. They're already on board.
Exactly.
You know, this next thing I really have to ask about, because growing up, I can remember all the way back to kindergarten up through like 4th and 5th grade, I would not just get made fun of, I would get beat up for liking Power Rangers. That was like my big sort of thing back then. And you actually have a new album out called Ranger Rap.
Yeah.
And it's an EP of Power Rangers themed music. Can you tell us about that project?
Well, you're actually going to like this. It's actually funny. I went to Michigan Comic-Con recently this year because I was doing a panel, and I ran to Walter Jones because he's from Detroit.
Yep.
A lot of people don't
didn't
know that.
know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No kidding.
Yeah.
He went to Central.
Y'all ain't know that?
So-
I didn't know that either. I went to Central.
We're
That's so
both
Not
Central alum.
Central University.
Central High.
Our bad. Our bad.
We both graduated. Well, I graduated. He didn't. We both went to Central Michigan
Sorry,
University.
I was caught up in the moment, man.
Anyone who says Central, that's where our minds immediately go.
No. Central High School.
Yeah, fair enough.
Central High. Yeah, so when I got a chance to meet up with him, he had his family there, like his mom and dad or whatever. And I said, look, I'm a huge fan, things like that, because, you know, I've already met, you know, JDF, of course, you know, the GOAT. And then I met Austin St. John and Jason Flan and a couple other people. And the cool thing was I was like, you know, I thought about doing some music like that for Power Rangers because I always, you know, wanted to do Morphicon.
Yeah.
So they hit me on the spot and said, okay, let's hear what you got right now. and I was like, yeah, I do have some stuff, you know, just kind of working out. So, okay, cool. So I got a chance to talk with Walter a little bit, and I said, you know, I wanted to come out with a project with it. So the next day, I finished that whole Ranger project in a week.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, goes
And-
to show you, when the Rangers ask you to throw something down, you throw something down.
throw it down.
Exactly.
By the way, that is available now on Spotify from Titan Records. Make sure you check it out. Again, it's called Ranger Raps, the new EP from Mark Cooper. You're listening to Checkpoint XP Esports and Gaming Radio. We're sitting down with Mark Cooper talking about his career and his brand new album. I got to ask, though, what games have you been playing recently? I mean, this is a gaming show. So what have you been playing lately?
Well, I recently got into, you know, the I'm a shooters person. So I'm in World War Z. I just got Gears
Nice.
5 the other day. So I've been playing that. I'm not necessarily in the era of the Fortnites and the Apex and things like that.
Fair enough.
Because it requires a certain amount of time. That way, you know, if you're going to play something competitive, you got to go all in.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you don't,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
you know, you also have to pick your platforms.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
a fighting game person, like on the side, so I play my Tekkens and Street Fighters and
Because obviously.
all
Dude.
about the frame data. Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's what's up. So Gears 5, there's a lot of talk about it. They're trying to make the multiplayer competitive. Do you think that has any viability?
I don't know this around this era. Like Gears 2 and 3 were very, you know, where they needed to be. That's where a lot of the, you know, the really driven, you know, third person shooters were really coming in.
Yeah.
Like to compete with Halo and the Call of Duties. But to be honest, there's so many fighting, you know, so many shooters in first person and things like that.
Yeah.
It could succeed, but at the same time, it could fall behind. But it just really depends on what, you know, how they market it and things like that. But the gameplay is really smooth this time. So, you know what I mean? So I can, you know, anything can happen for the competitivism. You know, it's just really if the fans are really driving towards it and everything. So
Nice.
Yeah.
So what's coming up, you know, release-wise that has you excited?
like game-wise?
Yeah.
Of course, you know, the Cyberpunk I'm excited about.
Because who ain't?
Tell me about it,
Who
man.
ain't?
Keanu Reeves, you know. Shockingly, Dying Light 2 is actually on my list.
Yeah, Robbie's deep in the
Thank
Dying
you.
Light, man.
When I was out at E3, I got to see like a short video of it, and Dying Light 1 was good, but man, I feel like 2, they've really, really flipped it, man. It's going to be so cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. You know what I mean? I can't wait for that, and I'm worried about Halo 6.
Uh-oh.
I really am.
Yeah,
But-
we keep
but-
hearing like the reports coming out about, you know, people leaving the project, and
Oh,
now they're
wow.
kind of getting defensive about whether or not there's some creative difficulties going
yeah,
on.
with the Bungie and the 343.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm nervous about it.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. So you're going to be performing at Youmacon here in Detroit.
Yep.
It's going to be, I'm sure, an amazing show. Tell fans what they can expect.
Well, the best thing you expect is a player one experience. Expect like you're, you know, going into a different room, being in part of the game, and being part of the show, and that's the best way to go about it.
That's what's up. Player one, a.k.a. Mark Cooper, has been joining us here on Checkpoint XP. Mark, man, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks again to Mark for his time. For full interviews, make sure you check him out over at our website, checkpointxp.com. That's going to do it for Checkpoint XP Daily, the first internationally syndicated show on esports and gaming for radio. Visit our website, checkpointxp.com, for insight on esports and gaming, as well as a wide collection of podcasts and interviews. Join us Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern live at twitch.tv/checkpointxp. Our theme is provided by the band Weird At Last. Find more at weirdAtLast.com. Checkpoint XP Daily is a production of Beasley Esports XP. Lead segment producing by Joe Sloan. Brand management by Chad Callahan. And of course, my co-hosts who pull double duty as producers for Checkpoint XP Daily. Robbie Landis, Norris Howard, and Joe Sloan. My name's Abe Bender. Keep listening.